Alright guys, so here's the latest release from Phoibos, and it's got a really good offer on at the moment where you can get $100 off. So if this one looks familiar to you, that's because it's been re-released and they've added some new dial options, the Stone collection. So I never checked out the previous one, so I can't really compare it to that, so there might be other things that have been improved since as well. So this is the review of the 2025 Phoibos Narwhal, specifically the PY061D, or Blue Vintage. So it comes in the usual Phoibos packaging, so we're not going to go into detail on that. So here is the actual watch, and I think it's a really good looking piece. It's definitely got a 70s vibe with this one, but if you're not keen on this one, they do quite a few other ones as well, which I'll quickly show you on screen now. And as you can see, there is some interesting stuff going on there. So you're probably wondering now, how much are these actually going to cost you? So the full price is coming in at $509, £387, €442. But as I said at the start of the video, I've actually got a discount code to get $100 off. So it's going to be $409, £311, €355. And that's using the discount code NW100, and that lasts until the 1st of December. So now all that's out of the way, let's get down into the review proper, starting off with the dimensions. So we've got a diameter of 38.2, thickness of 11.8, lug width of 20, then the on-put and lug to lug is coming in at 46.1. Then when it comes to the weight on the supply bracelet, with all the links included, it's coming in at 176 grams, and then size of my 7-inch wrist, it's coming at 165. So now let's take a closer look at this, starting with the clasp. So we've got the Phoibos branding on there, double pushers, milled clasp, and then it is actually an on-the-fly adjustable one as well, so that is good to see. Really simple to use as well, just push that button bit as you can see there. Slide it out, and then you can just push it back in, you don't even need that, and you've got a good amount of adjustment there too. Moving on to the case back, we've got that really nice design on there with a narwhal, and then the usual kind of specs around the outside. So 200 meter water resistance, sapphire crystal, automatic, and it is a screw down case back as well. You might have also noticed we have actually got quicker release on this bracelet, so that's a nice added bonus. So if you do want to swap it out, you can do quickly and easily. Now getting back to the bracelet though, you can see we've got a mixture of brushed and polished. It's all really nicely done. And then we've also got screw links on that bracelet too. They're nice small links as well, so helps conform to wrist along with that articulation. But now let's move on to the head of the watch, starting with the side profile. So we've got that satin crown there with the Phoibos logo, and then we've also got quite an interesting case shape. So it's quite angular, but we have actually got some curvature to those lugs as well, so it does help conform to wrist quite nicely. It's mainly brushed, just polished chamfers and top edge. And then you can see we've got some nice detail on that bezel as well, mixture of brushed and polished again. And then just that flat crystal on top, which we'll be checking in a bit if it is sapphire or not. But before we do that, let's get onto the dial. So we've got those nice large applied indices, so hopefully we should have some good lume on this. We'll be checking that in a bit. And as well as those indices, we've actually got those dots just on the outside of them. And on the 12, 3 and 9, they are actually integrated into those indices themselves. Another thing I really like is the fact that we've got the date down at the 6, and it's actually not colour matched, so it integrates with those indices quite nicely too, because it's more or less the same kind of size. Got nice proportions on all of the hands as well, again nice and broad, so a lot of area for lume. And then obviously with this one you've got that interesting vintage style dial which is kind of scratched and scuffed up. I know it won't be everyone's cup of tea, but I'm actually quite liking it. I specifically asked for this one because it's something a bit different. So now let's test whether we have actually got sapphire crystal on this or not. Using the trusty diamond selector 2. And yep, we have got sapphire crystal, so that's always good to see. So now it's time to talk about the movement, and no, it's not an NH35, it is actually the Miyota 9015. So I'll show you this in action now. Unscrew the crown, nice and grippy, good size as well. Pop it out to the first position, and then we can change the date. Pop it out to the second position, second hand stops, so we've got hacking, and then obviously we just change the time. Pop it back in, second hand re-engages, hand winding, all works well. I do really like these movements, and obviously it is high beat as well, so you get that nice smooth sweep of the second hand. I do really like the Miyota 9000 series movements. So now it's time to check out if the lume's up to Phoibos' usual standards. And here it is. So as you can see, it's looking pretty impressive, at least initially. So obviously depending on which dial version you go for, this might vary slightly, because I've gone for the vintage style dial, as well as having BGW9 on most of the dial and the hands. We've also got some old radium style on those dots and that second hand, which is a nice little touch. I do like that. It's not coming across all that clearly initially on camera, but once the camera adjusts, I'm hoping you'll probably see the colour difference. So with Phoibos, they always add 15 layers of lume, so I'm expecting good things from this. And initially it's looking pretty good. Consistent across the hands, indices, bezel, and also those different bits with the dots on the second hand. But I imagine they're probably going to fade a bit quicker than the BGW9, but we'll have to see. So initially, not too much of a change, as you'd expect. Still looking pretty consistent, even on those old radium style bits, which I have to admit I was quite surprised by. I thought they would have faded pretty quickly, but they're still hanging on. In fact, it's all hanging on really well. You can definitely see they are applying a lot of lume on their watches. I don't think I've ever had a Phoibos that has bad lume. Yeah, some bits have faded slightly more than others, but it's all still looking really impressive. So all that's left to go over now is the bezel. So it's 120 click ceramic bezel, but there is something a little bit odd with it. Slightly odd sounding. It's got a nice action though, and no backplay at all. But again, I'm just not overly keen on the sound. It kind of reminds me of a ball bearing bezel almost. But as I say, functionally it's absolutely fine, and it lines up perfectly too. But let me know, is it just me? Am I making a bit too much of this, or is the bezel slightly odd sounding? So all that's left to do now, show you what it's like on wrist, go over the pros and cons, and then you can decide whether you want to pick one of these up or not, and make the most of that discount. And here it is on my 7-inch wrist. So, as I say, I'm really liking this. I think it looks really good. And because we've got that on-the-fly adjustable clasp, you can get the perfect fit. Love the way the light plays with the different finishes on the bracelet and the case as well. And when it comes to the head of the watch, as I said, got a nice bit of curvature to the lugs, so it just conforms to the wrist really well. Nice compact lug to lug as well, female end links. It's pretty slim as well, with it having that Miyota 9015 movement, which is slimmer than the NH35, as well as being high beat too. We've also got that quick release on the bracelet, really nice case back design, really nice choice of different dials in this stone collection, including some more exotic ones if this is a bit too plain for you. We've also got sapphire crystal, that fantastic lume that you've come to expect now from Phoibos. So overall, I'm really impressed with it. But it's not perfect. There are a couple of things that I probably would tweak maybe. The main one being that bezel. As I say, it works perfectly well, I'm just not overly keen on the sound of it. Other than that though, I'm kind of struggling to find negatives with this. Perhaps maybe they could shave a little more off the thickness, but as I say, it's not thick anyway, in terms of dive watches anyway. And that is literally it. So if you do like this design, and you do want to pick one up, don't forget to use that discount code NW100 to get $100 off, and that's available until the 1st of December. So I'll leave links down in the description to both their websites, depending on where you are in the world. One will be better than the other to use, especially if you want to get it quicker. And if you want to see all the other Phoibos watches I've reviewed on the channel so far, I'll leave a link to the playlist at the end. But that's it for this one guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.